Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. I sincerely hope everybody is staying safe and sane in these transformational times. I thought what we would concentrate on today is opening the door, how to open the door to your future. We have door 1, door 2, and door 3. There's been so much transformation, and the way in which we manifest has shifted slightly because of the timelines and everything that's going on. So I feel as though a lot of people have really figured out who and what it is that they want. And let's give you some information about how to get there, what your immediate future will entail. Now that you've gone through, or you're going through, the transformation, the crystallizing process of everything that you're going through, what if you take all of that in tangible energy and apply it to your life? Sort of, you've been working on the feminine, now working on the masculine and putting yourself out there. What will that look like? What is it that you want? How can we help you get it? So that's what we'll be doing today. Door 1 has, let's see, a beautiful butterfly on it. Door 2 has our peacock feather, and door 3 has our ladybug. So as always, take a deep breath, take as much time as you possibly need. These readings resonate if you relax into the spirit of what it is that we're doing and connect deeply with the messages that are coming in. So take as much time as you need, even if you have to go off and do a little meditation. I know there's so much going on in the world right now. It can be very difficult to sort of focus, especially in Mercury in retrograde. I have noticed that focusing is definitely, it's been my first priority, but it's not been working that way. So I totally 100% behind you there if you're finding it difficult to focus. So whatever you need to do and how much time you need to take is totally up to you. All the doors or the piles, however you want to see it, will be listed down below in the timestamps as always. And as always, we're looking for practical advice at Unicorn Light Tarot to support you and guide you in any way that we can. Messages of love and light to send you off into the world and into the cosmos with your authentic voice and getting you there as quickly as possible. So, all right, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to move these out of the way just for now. So if you chose door number 1, the butterfly, then this is your original sort of foundation, deep cellular healing, physical and emotional healing. So I can definitely, choosing the butterfly certainly makes sense for sure for you. I do feel as though you guys are have been in the midst of it. There's probably been a lot of activations for you. Recently, a lot of stuff coming up for you, a lot of old stuff, but also in a very specific way around your authenticity and how it is you talk to the world and talk to yourself. So I do feel as though there has been a shift for some of you. Now, again, these are general readings. We try to get you as much information as possible, but let's see what we have here to get you some more. Yeah, 3 of Swords. There's been a lot of sort of retraction in a way of what it is that you thought you wanted or how it is you thought you could get there. A lot of you have been giving a lot of effort into how you get somewhere, or sort of overthinking situations to get to the bottom of what it is. So you need to find the wisdom, or the nugget of wisdom in everything that you've been through. And the one thing that's happening now, the one thing that your angels and your guides are saying now, is that you've gathered all the wisdom. It's now time to sort of step away from going through everything, and see everything from a perspective that's definitely higher than you want to. Now, there's some of you who are a little bit afraid of, let's see, we've got the 8 of Wands. I love this pack. I know it. These tarot cards, I know they can seem a little looming, but you know, when you have the Eight of Wands here, there's a movement forward, but there's a movement forward with you by integrating, and for the way that I'm seeing is folding in of your past. The way in which you are going to move forward into your future, door one, is to integrate everything from your past, and there's still an aspect of you that's waiting to be seen, and that's waiting to be validated. And there's no reason for that. There's a few different things going on too. There's a part of you that realizes now that you've gone through everything that you've gone through, that you're extremely powerful. But there's a part of you that wonders, you're not afraid of your power anymore necessarily, pile one or door one. But there's a little bit of an acclimation process going on where you don't fully want to step into sort of the higher realm full time, because you wonder who you're going to leave behind. And what they're saying to you is there's a little bit of your past that you're holding on to, but it's familiar to you, and you have an incredible sense of loyalty, door one, that goes beyond sort of anything that most people have, and you're even willing to sort of stay behind and hold on to those memories of your past because you don't want to betray anyone, and you feel as though even though these people may not have been great to you or things have happened before, some of it is the familiarity of it that you understand. It may be a little uncomfortable for you, but you understand it. But that you can actually talk yourself out of. It's more the familiarity and the betrayal of your past life, or your past in this lifetime. So the future stands for you is when you fully step in to the higher dimension. Now, you live there part-time, but when you're brought back into the lower dimension or lower frequencies, you can feel it. The fear comes up. There's even a tone of irrationality at some point where sort of the old way of thinking can be used against you very, very quickly. And you really understand that. It can send you sort of in a loop. And the betrayals that you've had before you go over and over and over. There's sort of this very systematic kind of betrayal of your mind that happens to you when you step back into the lower frequency. And you can recognize it. You absolutely recognize it. Let's see what other information we have for you too. So what it is for you to step into your new future and grasp what it is that you want in a tangible way and be who you are and activate that authentic voice in this lifetime, like now, is I feel as though the last process is stepping right into this new person that you've become. So yeah, this union, okay, so there's a slightly different version of this. And again, this is a general reading, so there's a few different things going on, but there's a split apart going on in what you're going through. And you've done such an incredible amount of work. You can feel that work. And you sort of oh my goodness, this Mercury retrograde, I swear I cannot speak. You've taken what it is, everything that you've gone through, and you've sort of like, you've separated everything. It's almost like you're putting it out there to see, you know, what you need to work through. And in this way, that's wonderful. But what you're being asked to do is sort of become that union of every aspect of what it is that you've been through and what it is that you're going through, to truly go through that door and to claim your authentic voice. So there is a union of sorts in this. So there's several different things going on. There's a union going on with your past coming into your present and your future and melding that. And then the true understanding that, you know, people say this all the time, there's no present, there's no past, we're living in it. And it sounds a little woo-woo, right? But you actually know the concept of that. And for you, I think your timelines are actually sort of coming in and sort of like overpowering each other. And it's time to really make that into a union and then stand into that authentic voice. Now, for those of you who are looking for love, or those of you who have just found it, but it's brand new and you're wondering how to handle it. But for those of you who are also looking for love, The love that you have is the person that you already are, but you need to step into. It's sort of on the other side of this personal union. You will find the actual union. So stepping into that authentic voice, it's the last thing you need to do. Yes, homecoming. Absolutely, homecoming. Couldn't have asked for something better. Couldn't have asked for a better message. You've done all of this work, and we understand, Door 1, it's been rather painful. It's been dramatic. At times, it's been sort of violent. A lot of you may have been having these dreams that are coming up, these really vivid dreams. The way in which you speak to your guides and your ancestors and whom you're working with, and that can shift daily, because you definitely have the sort of shamanistic aspect of who you deal with. And the sludge that's been coming up is really different to the way that it's worked before. And that's really because you're using your power. You've come into your power, but because it's not come into the full union yet, that power that you have, which is instrumental and absolutely fantastic, is being used a little bit. You're using a little bit against yourself when you come into the lower realm. So there's a few practical things we can get you to do. Door 1, first of all, taking on the energy of others is an absolute no-no. An absolute no-no. Most of you are incredibly sensitive and empaths. I know part of your journey has been about working on how you protect yourself from other people's energy. You don't just feel people when you walk into their room, you feel their energy. You can actually take on their energy in a way that you feel absolutely everything about them. It's sort of not to freak you out, but just to give you an idea of the power behind it. It's a form of possession. They don't necessarily want to be part of you, but that's how strong you are. That's how strong your empathic abilities are. Now, what you've been doing while you're doing this union, there's a part of you that doesn't want to move forward into the union, and you're holding back because of all of this energy that's coming up, and you're feeling absolutely everything, and there's a little bit of fear of moving forward. Now, in the mind, practically, when you move forward and you step right into that new authentic voice, that you will be working with lower frequencies differently. But telling your heart that is something completely different. Your practical mind and your ego are stepping in, quite rightly so, we can say, to protect you. And it's saying, well, if you're feeling this energy now to this degree, what's going to happen if you fully integrate? And that's what's happening. You're needing to integrate everything that you've done. You literally can't stay where you are. It overwhelms you in a way. You might even have really quite dramatic, physical stuff going on, because your body is taking the toll from all of this. So you can move forward quite easily. The Eight of Wands is telling us that it's time for you to go. And you do know that whatever it is that you've been through, you do know you can externalize all of that wisdom and move forward. And you do know on the other side of who you are that your power will manifest in the most beautiful way ever. The physical and emotional healing that you would have gone through, I would say, particularly in the last 6 weeks from when you find this video or this reading, has been nothing that you've ever gone through before. It's been intense. So I feel as though that union really just needs to come from you really pulling everything together and taking that last step really into the timeline of the proper 5D and staying there instead of flittering backwards and forwards. And that's how your authentic voice will rise up and stay where it is. Right now you speak authentically, and then you'll feel something from the external environment. You'll doubt yourself and you'll back off a little bit. This will stay once you've moved into the new timeline, which are already straggling. So you're 1 foot's in, 1 foot's out. And it's perfectly understandable that you were a little bit worried about this timeline. So it helps you remember the wisdom of the Golden Atlantis. Yes, awaken, bring back your knowledge, gifts, and talents. Reclaim your mastery. So that's the way we feel as though you moving forward is taking that voice, there's been like a thread. I can see this thread all the way through your life where people have dumbed down your voice and dumbed down who you are. So standing in your authentic self frightens you just a little bit. You're used to, you're used to not being seen. So there's a little bit of a hesitancy to move forward into your authentic voice. It's more about responsibility. You're willing to do the responsibility, but you just don't know what that looks like because you've never been given the chance. So a lot of this comes from self-love. A lot of this comes from you've done all the work to release the past, stepping into that last aspect of self-love and bringing back that energy of the old. You do have memories of Atlantis. You do understand ancient wisdom. The way in which you will articulate it will be slightly different in this lifetime, but you are a light bearer. You are here to do this work. You are aware that you're dumbing down your power, and before it was okay because you were doing the work to shed the old. Now your guides are telling you you've done the work to shed the old. They want you to have that union with yourself, to really fully integrate at the core of who you are and claim that authenticity. There really is no other time for this. Let's see, we have the witch runes here. And then the future that you have is to hold the light. It always has been. And not just to hold the light sort of where you stay or where you stand, but globally, doing what you do. Absolutely. We have the sort of... I always see this as a maze. You have the energy here in the middle. That's you. I don't know if you can see this. It's really quite beautiful. Let's see if we can bring it into focus. The energy, the spiral energy, that's you. And then you have all the spirals in and around you. Now, a part of you wants to wait until you have better energy around you. And this I totally understand. You see, your soulmate and your soul family, if you have not met them yet, again, this is a general reading, are standing on the other side of this dimension that you're waiting to go into. The universe is asking you to properly step into your authority right now. You've done the work. The last 6 weeks have not been easy for you. And again, if you're getting those physical symptoms, as you release properly, and by release, I mean once you integrate every aspect of yourself, then you stand grounded. You've been overwhelmed a little bit because you've not been grounded. You stand grounded in your own energy. You can move full time into the 5D realm, and then you meet your soul family. They're asking for you to take this leap of faith, and they understand from your path that this is a huge thing for them to ask you to do, but it's important that you do it this way, because the one thing that you've not believed that you've had all of these years is courage. And you have an immense amount of courage. And even when you've seen the courage, you've never really truly given yourself the blessings that come with the courage. You've never really said to yourself, at certain times, I was pretty courageous there, but if somebody asks you to list 5 things about yourself, courage would be like 10 or 11. The first thing that should come up is courage for you. You're very courageous, and it's really important for you to pull that courage in now and step in and do it this way, and then everything that you want will come into fruition. Waiting for it to come into fruition before you give yourself your all will not give you the benefits and the blessings that you want. They want you to do this because you've had a problem in the past with trusting the universe. You've fallen away from that a little bit. And this is the way that they can prove to you. And don't say anything about this, Door One, because you're definitely the sort of person that needs to be proved. You might be spiritual, but there's not much woo-woo about you at all. You need proof. You need facts. When people start saying things about certain things, you're like, okay, that may work, but I need the proof. I need the facts. I'll use this for myself. I'll use this deck myself. I'll use this herb myself. If it works, it works. You don't tell people to do things just on the off chance that it will work. You absolutely know by tried and, present circumstances If you've said something to someone, it's because you've been through it. You'll use your own experience. You don't talk out of your bum, pardon my French. You absolutely talk from experience. You talk from practicality. Even though you might be an incredible sensitive and an incredible empath, it really doesn't matter. You will talk from the practical aspect of what it is that's going on in your life. And that's how you speak to people. People understand and respond to that. They respect it. You're also the first person, like if anything's too woo-woo, or if people are claiming that things are too woo-woo and you've actually worked with that energy and you know it's not woo-woo, you'll stand up for it and say, actually it isn't, or if somebody's just claiming things about this, that, and the other, do we know that? Or does that really work that way for everybody? You have a very practical sense to you. So the universe is working with you on your own terms. It's asking you not to wait anymore. They're asking you to really push up your courage, understand your self-love, respect everything that you've gone through. And the one thing that I'm getting for practicality too, you can call back all aspects of self when you gave away your power in certain aspects as, either bullying or people saying things about you or, because you're so sensitive, if people were not very nice to you or projected upon you or talked about you or gossiped or anything like that, you picked up on that energy and you're that sensitive. So you can ask the universe to send it back to that person. Now, it doesn't have to be like sending it back threefold and, I'm going to mess them up or anything like that. But you can send the energy back. They gave it to you. You can protect yourself from it. And you can call back all of your power and your energy that you gave away when people really did kind of betray you, and that's the way you saw it. It really cut deep. So call back all aspects of yourself. Call in your courage. Call in your self-love. Know that you have that courage. And move right back into the next stage of existence, which for you is inevitable. And the longer you put it off, the more confused you're going to get, because you have so much power and you're sort of in a way kind of turning it against yourself. Again, I don't want to be dramatic about it, but you can see how powerful you are when you see all of this stuff. So by not bringing back that power, has nowhere to go. It keeps bouncing off the wall. So what we need you to do is move into that last stage. And then everything in that last stage is literally waiting for you. And then the power won't be bouncing off the walls and then coming back to sort of make your life a little bit more confusing or overwhelming. You were not here to be seen by everybody, or you were not here to be accepted by everybody. And this is part of what's been going on for you. And this, standing in your authenticity and your authentic voice. So we have, let's see, I've forgotten what they're called. Normally I don't forget, but Mercury retrograde is high in the sky. Making magic. I love these. So we're just going to get you a couple last messages here to help you on your way. So let's do this one. Philosopher's Stone, a powerful manifestation of wishes and goals by harnessing universal energy. That's pretty much everything we've just said, right? But using universal energy specifically too, it's by having that last remnants of trust that you need to cultivate. The universe is working on your terms. They're asking you to step and leap, and then everything is on the other side. Working with your personality. If they just gave you everything, door one, you wouldn't trust it. You wouldn't trust it. That's just who you are. They're working with your energy. This is exactly how you need to proceed. Once you get on that other side and you do that union, everything and everyone is waiting for you on the other side. I also want you to see this. That's pretty clear, I think. These are sigils and alchemy symbols. You can actually take a picture of this also, a screenshot, whatever you need to do, and you can actually work with the symbol, the sigil, to help you manifest your goals, make it specific to you. I'm going to do one more too. One more, door one. Happy love, a joyful, stable partnership and good friends. My goodness, what did we just say? What did we say? The two things that's absolutely waiting for you. that's of your highest good waiting for you on the other side of that door once you open that door and walk through for good. A happy, stable relationship, good friends, partnership. That's exactly what we said. Could not be more in tune. Pile 1, door 1. So go ahead and walk through that door. Integrate, union. I was going to say unionize, but that's not what we're saying. But yeah, in effect, unionize all aspects of yourself. Bring yourself back into that union through your courage. Walk through that door once and for all. And I promise you, once you do that, the way in which you work with negativity, the way in which you work with energy will not be bouncing off the walls like this. You'll be able to protect yourself a lot more. Right now, I know that you do, you can do grounding exercise and, chakra exercise to close them down a little bit for a little bit of protection. But the way in which you won't need to do any of that once you go and walk through that door, your energy will know how to protect itself. It won't even need to protect itself because it'll be so high. So don't wait. Go for it. Your authentic self is there. And once you shine in that light, you're here to shine light on everybody being their authentic self. You have to do that first. That's what you're working on. That's your thing in this lifetime. So walk through that door, door 1. Your new life is waiting for you. You've done all this work. You deserve this. It's not even an ending. It's actually a beginning, but it'll feel like an ending in a good way. So do let me know in the comments below if this reading resonated with you. I always love a thumbs up. I always love hearing from you guys. And of course, subscribe if you feel as though this is the energy and support that you absolutely need in your love life, your life in general. I always love being here for you guys. I am sending so much love and light to you sincerely, so much appreciation for who you are and who you are about to become. You already become, but how you're going to shine your light. Stay safe and sane. Pile 1, door 1. Take care until we meet again. Bye-bye. Hey, door 2, if you chose this beautiful peacock feather, then we will find out opening the door to your future, what it is that you need to do. Practical way, you're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, and community. So definitely feeling a sense for you, pile 2, already that claiming your beauty and seeing beauty back in the world is really important to you. So walking through that door, opening the door to your future is coming back to the aspect of beauty and being able to see it. Your heart has been broken with everything that's going on and what you're seeing. It's just tough for you, door 2. It really is. You're taking it on in a way that's incredibly beautiful, but incredibly painful. The isolation really, well, obviously, a certain amount of us, at least, globally for a while, we've all had to isolate, but there's a part of your mind that's been in isolation before all of this happened. But since we've been in isolation, there's been an opening up of your mind and what it is that you needed to see. And in some ways, there's been connection that you never had before. And that's ironic because, we've all been isolated, but you've had aspects of a connection and a sense of community. But recently, I feel as though with everything that's going on, you're feeling the brunt of the old way. As you can tell, a lot of things are falling, a lot of systems are falling. And before they fall, there's just the word that I'm getting, and it's icky, but it's like excrement. It's all coming out. It's like, that's the word I literally got. I don't even use that word. I use the word anyway. We don't need to know what I actually use, but and you're feeling that. It's almost like you're sort of bathing in it, it's really sad. You feel the sadness, you feel the darkness, and, you worry, door 2, that you'll never be able to fully see the beauty. You have aspects of it, but fully step into the beauty and wondrous aspects of this life. Yes, Page of Wands here. So let's get another one for you before we get you some more information. Yeah, you've got the 3 of Cups, which is beautiful because there's community here and there's gorgeousness in this community. There's magic and laughter, and there's singing and music. bringing yourself back into the musical aspect of you. If you're not musicians, then I would say music is really important to you. You have an emotionality that's like a sense of smell, a movie, even a song. Music will bring you back to a very, very specific kind of part of your life. You really you have a sense of nostalgia that's really beautiful. You're also incredibly creative and sensitive. So you can use that in order to heal this aspect of you that's almost sort of given up hope. But the Page of Wands is here, and the Page of Wands is letting you know that there is a shift, there is a change. Walking through this door now, moving through this door into your future, absolutely shows you that there is a beauty there, and the beauty needs to be seen within you first. So there is a reminder here, and I'm not surprised now that you chose this peacock. The way in which you're seeing the world, and now everybody says that, you see through the world, the way in which you see the world absolutely comes from your own understanding of it. And that's sort of true for you, but in some ways it isn't actually true for you. It's a little bit different from you, for you. The way in which you see the world is what people are doing to each other. And you actually take that personally. You take that energy on, and it absolutely saddens you. You really are the sort of soul that has immense compassion and is trying to figure out how to be human. There's a part of you that really wanted to be here and has worked many lifetimes. I mean, you're definitely a starseed, light worker, healer, whatever however you identify it. Even if you don't, you're here to oversee the light and hold the light. But there's also a part of you that hasn't acclimated into being human, because you don't quite understand why people treat animals like that, why people treat people like that. And you had a moment of respite at the beginning of this isolation period where people were coming into community and people were doing that. You're being asked to go back to that time and not to wade through, again, the excrement. Sorry to use that word. It's really gross, and it really pulls up the vision of what we're talking about. But that's why I was given the word to give you. That's really what you're doing. To concentrate on the beauty and the initial beauty and the coming together in the community. There's a reminder that you're not alone. Sometimes you tend to shut down. The high priestess, the high priest responsibility. I just want you to see that now. We're going to come back to those in just a second. So, and then security. So it really is for you, door 2, to really find your own security in your body. I feel as though I'm being told you're not always in your own body. There's an element of beauty to you, an element of sort of airiness, of you can go with the flow, because sometimes you have this childlike essence to you. Some of that is because you're not physically grounded, and some of it is that you have a lot of air energy or sort of elemental energy around you, which is absolutely beautiful, and people are attracted to it. But that air energy gets flustered when there's a sort of violence or hardship or something going around. It's just that it's almost like your soul is too sensitive to be able to cope with such darkness, And the thing is that the first thing that we can say to you in a practical way is the way in which you work with your angels and your guides, and they are many and they are numerous, but particularly with your star guides, is that to remember that you're not alone. You take on the responsibility because deep down you know that you have the power, but it's almost like you're trying to prove your power by taking on the darkness to see how much you can take on before you break. And this is something that you may have done before to prove your strength. Nobody asked you to do it, you did it. And the truth is, you're extremely powerful. So the amount of energy that you've taken on in your lifetime to prove that you didn't break, I don't know how you didn't break. And if you did break, you got right up and you reinvented yourself. I mean, you're incredibly powerful. So what I'm getting now is for you to walk through this door, door 2, is that your responsibility needs to shift. Your responsibility now is to really embark on a brand new version of unity with the souls that brought you down here, with your star seeds, with your guides, and let them take the brunt of what you're feeling off. You were never supposed to take on the amount of energy that you did, and they don't want you to. They want you to step out of this need to prove. There's nothing to prove anymore. Your power is extreme. You've got the Page of Wands. You've held your wisdom. You've done your part. It's time to move on. And to get this physical connection and community, instead of it coming in and out of your life constantly, to get the stability here and the security, it's important that you understand that a lot of what you took on in your lifetime was not your responsibility to do so. It's time for you to settle back into your soul, ground into being human, and really get the joyful aspects of being human. I feel as though you don't always enjoy the joyful aspects of being human, even to go so far as that, if you eat a little bit of cake, you'll be guilty, or this, that, and the other. Again, everything in moderation, but like you're strict with yourself in certain things. There is a reminder here, those who chose door 2, that things are beautiful and you're here to experience everything. You put yourself under so much pressure to be perfect. You're being asked not to do that anymore. There is no perfection. And trust me, even if there was, you've achieved it 3 or 4 times right now and you still let it go. You don't even want it. So we've got the witchy runes right here. Well, they're called the witch runes, but I just put on that extra Y. The sigil, absolutely. Cut away what you no longer need. You no longer need to prove yourself. This is the last fraction of what you're going through to move into this new energy through that door and gain this community spirit for good. There's so much to do in this world. We have a lot to build it back up. This is not going to happen in one day or 1 year. This is going to be many lifetimes and generations, but you're here to be able to do that. You have no qualms getting your hands dirty, getting in, doing what needs to be done, being there for people. You're not a frivolous person by any stretch of the imagination. So you will find the people, you will find your soul family, you will find your sense of community, you will come back into that sense of knowing that there is beauty in this world. Really let that inner child go, put on that record player, put it on really loud, make sure that, if there's a song that you used to love when you were a kid, or a movie that you used to, love when you were a kid, let your inner child go for it. Get that cake, go eat it, do what you need to do, skip in the park, do things that ordinarily you wouldn't have time for or you wouldn't think to do. Lighten up your life so you can get back into the beauty and the joy. Really want you to enjoy your life as being human and not see it as like wading through, I'm not going to say it, the crap. I'm not going to say that word. We've got this one too. It's such a beautiful time for you. You had such a gorgeous soul, a sensitive soul, but within that sensitivity, your level of compassion is just immense. I mean, people can look into your eyes and then just feel at home. I mean, there's very rare people that do that. I mean, you really have, not to be dramatic or anything, but you have an essence of Jesus with you. If you work with Jesus, I think I did. It's a much older one, but I channeled Jesus. I often do, but I actually did it for Unicorn Light Tarot. You might want to go back there. And Mother Mary, Queen of Angels too. The Queen Mother. No, what Queen Mother? That's, in England. No, I mean, I always see the Virgin Mary as the Queen. She's my Queen. You might want to look into that one too. But if you don't have time, and there was a choice, I would go for the Jesus reading, because some of that should resonate with you, because you really do have that energy. You really have that beautiful heart. You may have protected it, may have been broken, but at the end of the day, you had to protect it because you knew how sensitive you were and how gorgeous you were. It's time for you to get into your body and enjoy being human. Absolutely. And take off those restrictions. You know, you allow it for other people. You love it when people are having fun and are doing like sort of frivolous things. But when it comes to you, even if you allow yourself to do it, you'll be so hard on yourself afterwards. You know, enjoy it. Sometimes you've got to be frivolous. There's nothing about you that would allow your personality to be frivolous constantly without any sense of responsibility. That's the opposite of who you are. So you never need to worry about your frivolousness getting out of, you know, out of measure or out of touch with what it is that you want. But please see yourself as somebody who needs some fun and go out there and get it. So, oh, this is the one that came up for, helps you remember the wisdom of Golden Atlantis. Yeah. Awaken, bring back your knowledge, gifts and talents, reclaim your mastery. Absolutely. This came up in door 1. That's a wonderful one for you too, with the golden light coming in. But I'm just gonna pick one more for you though, pile 2. I just want to do this. Oh, the earth dragon clears your path on the land around you. Stay grounded, be ready to serve. Stuck energy is clearing. You could move forward in life. This is absolutely you too. Absolutely. This is the main one that I wanted for you. Stay grounded, but for you, it's not just grounded. You might be grounded. Stay in your body. What you see makes you want to escape your body. It's really your door 2 and moving through it. It's about, you know, you could even say, I'm human, I'm human, I'm human. There's an energy to you that understands that, you know, you're a spirit and you're not. It's about really committing yourself to being human. But committing to yourself to being human does not mean to say that all you see is beauty fading and darkness and violence all the time. You've equated human with really bad stuff to go on. Yeah, humans are bad. They're definitely bad. They're like the worst creatures, the most disgusting creatures in the world, but they're also the most humanitarian, the most beautiful creatures, the most gracious creatures, you know, the most compassionate creatures in the world too. So it's really about understanding that this old energy of committing to being human with your spiritual, beautiful, sensitive nature is where you're at right now. You've been working on this. Cut away, again, what does not work. All of your angels are working with you. Stuck energy is clearing, so you don't have to worry about that. This is magic. I swear. Mercury retrograde. Making magic, Mercury retrograde. I am working with the Mercury retrograde, so I refuse to be nasty about it, but it's definitely messing with my communication. So fire energy, the element of fire heralds new life, renewed passion, and a positive transformation. So these are sigils. And this is something, these are sigils, these are symbols, alchemy. You can definitely take a snapshot of this and work with this. Fire would be excellent for you because you have a lot of emotionality too. And you have a lot of sort of sensitivity. So the fire can really help you burn away the old. So even if you are a fire sign, using that to burn and transform would be a great way for you to move forward. So that's an extra element of what you want to do. Protection, strong protective magic for the family and home. Again, so if you want to take a little picture of the sigil here, you can definitely work with this in protection. As you're working through, that's the other thing that happens for you. When you see the darkness going on, you don't feel protected. You feel as though you're susceptible to it also. And in some ways, you know, taking on that energy is totally fair enough, because you take on energy so dramatically, you feel it so dramatically. Of course, the darkness is going to pull you into this sort of insecurity or not feeling protected. Your angels want you to know that not only are you protected, you're extra protected while you go through this phase and walk through door 2, because this is your path. This is what you were always supposed to do. And again, getting back into that self-love, getting back into that inner child, getting back into that groundedness, into your own body, into the spirituality, but knowing that you're human and really understanding what that means. Seeing your own beauty and not doing this anymore, like having to put yourself through so much darkness to prove everything or prove anything to anyone. Then you will realize that you've always had protection and that nothing can really hurt you. You are protected so you can do this work in this lifetime. You're absolutely here to do this work. And if this is resonating with you, door 2, then you totally understand that you are here to do this work. They're not going to pull you down here for you not to finish this work. This is really up to you to walk through that door once and for all. And again, a little bit of a crossover with pile 1, although very different energies. Once you cross over and walk through that door, pile 2, the 3 of Cups, that sense of community, that sense of celebration will be there. Even family, whatever it is, will be renewed. So it's just up to you to have faith, burn away the old, and move into the new. So I hope that resonated with you, pile 2. I hope it gave you some practical suggestions to move through. If it did resonate, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Do let me know in the comments. I do love hearing from you guys in the comments. I genuinely do. And of course, subscribe if you feel as though this is the energy that you need in your life. Always happy, 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 happy to have you, without a doubt. Sending so much love and light to you, pile 2. My heart is with you, sincerely, openly, and completely. Please stay safe and sane until we meet again. Bye-bye. Okay, door 3, if you chose the butterfly, let's find out about your door, opening the door to your future. What do you need to know to do that? Jump in. Adventure. Say yes to change. Absolutely. So the first thing that I can see is that you guys are obviously star seeds. It doesn't matter which system, star system you come from. You identify with being star seeds, or you do understand that you are from the stars. Let's see what else we have here too. 5 of Wands, absolutely. So, and I want to do this one too. Oh, you've got the 4 of Wands. So there's been a little bit of, I don't want to say hesitation, but there's been a little bit of movement forward, movement back, movement forward, movement back with you. There's been a little bit of confusion. There's been a little bit of willingness, and then you're very stubborn, door 3, which is great. And I feel as though the stubbornness has worked for you in the past. But what you're being asked to do right now, door 3, and it's real talk, to move through the door and to move forward and to really embrace all the transformation that you've been through recently. It's almost like you've shut down your system because you've been through so much recently, transformation, everything that's been going on. You've been activated so much. You probably have like activation symptoms. It's almost like you said, enough, I'm done. That's it. I can't take any more. And it's the movement forward is, trying to see it because you thought you were out of the woods, and then more activation happened, and then you're really, really, really feeling it. And what they're saying is the way to get through this is very much about working with your flexibility. Now, in the past, in order, you had a survival mechanism sort of built in. We all do. You activated it a lot. So even like your lower chakras, like your lower back might have been hurting recently. This is a general message. So if that's not happening to you specifically, wonderful. But for those of you who are getting like the lower back stuff, it's because, your survival stuff, the way in which that you're being activated is bringing up the survival stuff for you, because it's like physical symptoms, and you're wondering what's going on, and you've also committed to a spiritual life. You've committed to doing the work. And when you last got activated, which would probably be within the last 3 weeks, it was really extreme for you. And you wondered if you would ever move forward. And there was a part of you that sort of lost hope a little bit. And really kind of, you didn't necessarily reach out, but you kind of got lost in your own head. And when you did that, the sort of aspect of your survival mechanism kicked in. And when that happens, it's more sort of an inflexible way of trying to get you through something. Now, in the past, that would have happened to you. If something happened, I have to do A, B, C to get through this. I got to pick myself up. I don't have a lot of time to do this right now. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to hide this emotion. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get through the day. Now, that's totally fine. That's what you needed to do then. But you're using that energy into what's going on now. Now, the reason why you got activated so clearly and so directly is because your power is really being infiltrated and really coming up to the top, and you're being asked to fully allow that energy in. And what you're doing is pushing it back, because you're not necessarily afraid of the energy, but you've never been to this point. There might be a little bit of sort of nervousness, even a little bit of suspicion about, you know, okay, we're doing this now. Is this really happening? This is a little bit different to what I've been going through, but you know, they totally understand that you've not been here before. And of course, when everything comes up, your survival instincts are going to come up for sure. But your survival instincts aren't going to work here. They're very much in your past. And they're teaching you, or they're having you say to yourself to be inflexible out of a sense of protection. It's really not going to help right now. Say yes to the adventure. Dive in deep. Deepen your connection with yourself outside of the need to protect yourself. There's no need anymore. The survival instincts are going to shift. Clearance, absolutely. Broomstick clearance. So let me get one more here. And guidance, absolutely, tarot cards. So there's a few different things going on here. Now with the broomstick, that's, you know, that's very famous sort of witchcraft iconography, right? But actually that works with you. You can take what you have literally in the house. And when I say in the house, I mean your house, your soul, who you are. And you can use that to clear out all the old survival mechanisms so you can move forward properly, right? Now, you can literally take a broomstick and do a ritual and do that if you want to. If that's your thing, that's fine. That's very specific, so I don't expect everybody who's listening to this to want to be able to do that. But the idea, the iconography of this is using something that's natural to you, that lives within you to clear out, okay? So if you're clearing out the inflexibility, you're clearing out the survival mechanisms, then what it is that needs to be done to clear it out, the heart opening, the self-love. You know, once you open into the heart chakra, once you open into the self-love, that will help you clear out the survival mechanisms that you have going on now out of protection. What you're trying to do is move the survival out of you with using the survival mechanisms, using that sense of protection. You're using yourself against yourself. That's why it's not working. So to clear that out, and it's really easy thing to do. This is the last thing to do before you move into the door and claim that authentic voice that you have, and claim that freedom. For you, it's not just the voice, it's this intense freedom that you've always wanted. You've gotten a taste of it, but you want it integrated into your life, and it's absolutely owed to you, and you're absolutely getting it. So again, use whatever you have within yourself that you would consider maybe, you know, the opposite of survival or survival mechanism. Concentrate on really pulling that together and widening that. And what that will do will infiltrate with light the need for protection and survival. And then you will be able to sort of move out of this inflexible way. And again, I want to be very clear. You're inflexible because you're trying to protect yourself. Totally understand. No judgment whatsoever. Totally understand. And your practical mind is like, yeah, I can do this. And in a way, in the past, there's aspects of your healing that required this process in a way. So it's not like, you know, this process has never worked for you. While you were healing, there was a certain boundaries and protection and things that you needed to do. Maybe you weren't in a position to be as flexible as others. That's what you thought, and that's fine. You made it work for you. Again, no judgment. Past is past. But moving forward in the way that you want to move forward requires you jumping in and saying, yes, it's no longer going to work for you. Not even the remnants of how you worked before. Now, there's a lot of guidance for you going on. Definitely tarot, but you don't even need the tarot. A lot of you are somewhat avoiding. You really do understand how much power you have. And some of you are even avoiding speaking to your guides because you know you can do this, but there's a little bit of hesitation because you know that you've never been here before. This is a brand new platform and territory for you. It's not like you want to see yourself miserable if you are miserable, again, general reading, but it's almost like there's so many things going on in your mind. You know, there's 20 different things. You can sit down to meditate and then your mind will fire off 20 different things. And before you know it, you're reading a book and then you've forgotten that you were even meditating. So it's like, because you're holding so much information, because you're in the survival survival mode. The clarity of thought isn't as clear as it needs to be, and your method of connecting, either with meditation or however it is that you would connect in order to get the guidance that you need, isn't as sort of foolproof as it has been in the past. So however you need to do it, tarot cards are easy. That's just sort of an easy one. You can pick up a couple cards, see how you feel. I would try, though, if you can, door 3, I would really try if you can stand the concentration, to really try and do meditation. Really give yourself just 5 minutes. You know, there's an area of perfection for you too. I think that came up in Pal too, but this is very different energy. You know, if you can't do like an hour of meditation, why bother? You know, I know even 30 seconds can be tough, but if you can actually put aside 5 minutes and say, I'm not going anywhere until this 5 minutes, and really listen to what the information that's coming in, instead of trying to do like big sessions or constantly trying to be in touch with your guides, like, you know, just a little bit, really understand. And this is how your mind is working right now. It's sort of on overdrive, and that's because you've been activated recently. There's a lot of information coming in, and that's totally fair enough. So just don't expect as much from yourself, and just that clarity of thought for those 5 minutes can really pull in the guidance that you need. Yeah, coming in every direction now. You are the center of this, and then balancing in every direction. This is absolutely you, and this is what you're striving for sure. The way in which you lived before, there wasn't a proper balance. You had a lot of fire, or there was too much water, and then the fire put out the water, and, you know, working with the elementals and everything, you know, stepping up in your power when it was time to speak or not time to speak, or this, that, and the other, just having the judgment of when to speak and when not to, and when to listen. And it's not that you weren't a good listener, you were, but it's just there wasn't enough trust in your authentic voice at all times. Leaning into the trust that you are perfectly balanced and will do absolutely amazing in every situation, regardless of who's in the room and regardless of what they think of you. That's what you want. And that's on the other side of the door. If you jump in, say yes to adventure, and really go for it. Absolutely, really go for it. The guidance is there for you, clearing out the old ways and the old protection. And that's what you really want. Your energy shifts dramatically when you're around other people. You want to be able to have that balance where, you know, I don't know if this is a kid's game or something, but you stand and somebody tries to move you, and no matter what, nobody can move you because you're rooted to the ground. That's what you're aiming for, and that's what you're owed, and that's what you can do. You can absolutely do this. So let's see what we have here. Trinka 5, manifesting money and income. So again, this is the 555 here. If you've been seeing number sequences, these are sigils and alchemy symbols. So you can go ahead and take a picture of this and use them if you want to. Again, the protection or being grounded and having that sort of the first chakra sort of work really well, instead of being sort of inflexible, using the first chakra to protect constantly, means that, you know, the manifesting and the money and the income, doing what it is that you really want to do, is really what you want to do. That may have been fuzzy, a little bit up and down, or you may have felt that you were doing, you know, taking a job when you really wanted to do something that you wanted to do and you weren't getting paid for that. This is something that you can do, something that it's owed to you once you start clearing out the first chakra and redirect your energy to understand that manifesting money is so simple for you because you are incredibly talented at manifesting. You should know this. You absolutely manifest things that you don't want sometimes. So you absolutely know that you can do it in the other way. You can bring income and money, but on your own terms. It's just a matter of belief. It's just a matter of pulling down some of those barriers, and the protection might be blocking some of that manifestation to come into fruition. But moving through this, you've got this fairy magic. Respectfully work with the fairies and elementals to achieve your goals. Absolutely. And again, this is beautiful here. You in the middle, going out right there with all of your energy. Fairy magic would be amazing for you. And actually, if you're into it, Fairy magic could actually help you be the broom in your situation, help you open up and clear out. You definitely need some really joyful light energy to shift that, to shift you back into the flexibility of the joy of going with the flow. In every moment of your life, to understand guidance is there for you, to lift your energy and not always be sort of in this mode of protection, which again, no judgment, you've needed that in the past, but that often leads to you being shut down and sometimes even judgmental very much on yourself, and certainly with others too. But that's because you were judging yourself more harshly than anyone else. You know, it's, I read somewhere, I think it was recently, but obviously I'm paraphrasing. It's like, you know, if you're asked to list everything that you love, how long does it take? How many times does it take you to go down that list before you say yourself? Yours will be like 30 or 35. It wouldn't even occur to you necessarily. But you have this power and you have this beauty. You know, maybe loving yourself was, in the past, it was a luxury. Didn't have time for it, too busy surviving. You're clearing all of that out now and moving into a brand new way. Jump in. The work's already been done. The work's already been done. I know you've been activated a lot, so you may have physical and other symptoms. There's a lot going on, and totally understand. But please stay with your heart. Stay with your heart and resist the urge to be inflexible while this is happening, and that stubbornness coming up. Because all you have to do is say yes to the energy, let it come in and integrate. You move through that door, door 3. And then you have this incredible sense of worth and adventure and beauty. You were such a beautiful child. You know, there's been elements in your life when you were younger where you were so joyful and were around elements and elementals and definitely fairy magic in and around you. You know, bring that energy back to you and you can have that energy again integrated fully into your life. Time to jump in and ready to go. So I hope, Pile 3, that this brought you a little bit of information about how to move forward. I truly hope it resonated with you and brought you some light and support. If it did, do feel free to give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments. I always truly love hearing from you guys. And obviously subscribe if you feel as though this is energy that can support and give you some guidance in these transformational times. I would absolutely love to have you. Sending so much love and light, truly, from the bottom of my heart. My heart goes out to you in the work that you're doing. I'm really excited to see what you do in the future. I know you can do this. Door 3, just walk through that door. Stay safe and sane, and until we meet again, bye-bye.